So when you first look at the tools of Photoshop, everything will seem a bit confusing. There's so much to choose from. And just to make things a little easier, I'm going to show you I'm going to put these tools into different groups. That way you would know that if you want to make a certain adjustment, you would look for which group that adjustment belongs to and then choose a tool that is in that group. So if you look at our screen right now, we have 6 different groups, and I've just made them myself. They're not official. The first one is selection. As the name says, it's for when you want to select something, whether it's a person, a car, a cloud, or just anything else. This is the selection group. Below that is the graphics group. This is probably the biggest group. It consists of adding text, shapes, pens, and if you're drawing with a brush, erasing, filling things in, everything related to color, drawing, and other sorts of graphics belong to this group. Then we have the healing group. The healing group consists of tools that allow you to remove certain areas of a picture or a landscape image. And to remove those areas, you would have to refer to the healing group. Then we have the effects group. The effects group are something additional to a final image. So let's say you have finished editing a portrait of your mother. You want an extra effect on that. You would have to refer to the effects group. We have the framing group, which is for framing our canvas or our image. And finally, we have the moving group, which is to just move around our canvas and make things easier for ourselves. So these were our groups, and I'm going to use these 6 different colors to connect each of these tools to these groups to make things easier. So let's start. I'm going to choose red. That's our first color, with the first tool up here, which is called the move tool. Now the name is pretty obvious. That belongs to the moving group. Going to go in the moving group. Okay. And we have the rectangular tool. That belongs to the selection tool. Let's choose the yellow, the selection tool. We have the lasso tool, which is also a selection tool. We have the, I forgot the name, quick selection tool, which again is for selecting things. So let's just connect it to our selection. It's a weird line. Let's make a decent one. Okay. Then we have our crop tool. That is for our framing, because we use this to frame our image to our desired size. Then we have the frame tool, which is also for framing. We have the eyedropper tool. Let's choose a different color. This is related to colors. It uses to identify colors across the canvas. So this is with graphics. We have the spot removal tool. This is for healing. Let's get this blue color. And this is for healing. Let's just drag it here. We have the brush tool, which is what I'm using right now. This is related to graphics. So let's connect this to graphics. Next is the clone tool, which looks like a stamp. This is related to healing. So let's connect it. We have the history brush. This is again a brush used for graphic work. Let's drag it up here. We have the eraser tool, again graphics. The bucket tool, graphics. We have the blur tool with some other additional things that are inside. This is for effects. Then we have the, I believe, dodge tool. That's the dodge tool, yes. That's also effects. We have the pen tool, graphics. The text tool, graphics. Then we have this, what was the name? Path selection tool. This is for selection, the yellow one. Let's drag it all the way up to selection. We have the rectangular tool, again, graphics. Hand tool is also for moving. to move around our canvas, make things easier. And finally, we have the zoom tool, which is also for moving around your canvas. So this is a graph to show things to you. It does look a little messy, but I hope the colors were good enough so that you guys can easily see which tool belongs to which group. Now clearly you saw that the graphics tool is the biggest group because a lot of these tools are used for graphics. And that is essentially what Photoshop is. You create graphic work within Photoshop. But you also have other groups for other forms of art, whether it's a photography work, an animation, although animation is graphics. Let's see, maybe a video. So yeah. And whatever you're trying to do in Photoshop, you would have to refer to these groups. If you're here to design a logo, you would have to refer to the graphic tools. But if you want to add a special effect to those logos, you would use the effects tool. If you want to frame your logo, frame tool. You want to move your logo around, the moving tool. You want to make a selection of a additional image to add it to your logo, the selection tool. And if a part of that selection has unwanted things, you would use the healing group. So it's that simple. It all depends on what you're here to do in Photoshop. I hope this graph helped you guys to understand the tools better. And we also have this color thing down here. This is again related to graphics. Let's just add it there. It depends. It's connected to the colors that we use. Same panel up here. We would mostly use colors for graphics. So this is it for this lesson. It was just a quick overview of the Photoshop tools. Pretty easy. Don't make it too complicated for yourself. As you move along, it will become a lot more easier and things will get less confusing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. I'll see you guys in the next one.